we're already halfway into this year's football season. There's a lot of winners and a lot of losers. So now we have to ask the question, who's going to get traded into what team?
Supposedly, DeAndre Hopkins is heading to the Kansas City Chiefs as of this morning. Yesterday, a couple days ago, you had Amari Cooper headed to the Bills and
Devontae getting to go back to his boy Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets.
So it's all been wide receiver recently. We're going to touch up on one wide receiver, but most of this is going to be we're going to stay away from
the wide receiver room.
Yeah. So first off, we're going to go with a big one. We're going to go with Max Crosby.
That's a splash right there. I mean, that's so big it's got 2 X's.
Recently, I guess his name has been popping up to a few teams. One is injury-based. It's going to be the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
I think the unfortunate injury of Aiden Hutchinson has been unfortunate.
Yes.
And they're really in that Super Bowl mode right now, so the picks don't matter to them.
Exactly. It's just win now and do whatever you got to do to
Later.
to get the win. And I mean, it's just crazy to think like this dude has the Raiders logo tatted on him, and now it's gonna be like an old girlfriend's like name on a tattoo on your body, and you're just gonna be sitting there like laughing at that because he always said he wanted to be a Raider for life. And I mean, this is where we talk about this sport is a business, not a game all the time, and this is one of those moments where you're gonna look at Max Crosby might be getting traded to the Lions.
Up next is the New England Patriots. I think this is more of I know he says he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild, but they have the cap space so they can make the move. And they're probably going to have a top 10 pick, probably top 5 even.
It's one of those types of plays where, like you're saying, they have the money so that they can pay him. But on top of that, yeah, maybe this year it might not be the best situation, but next year they could be looking at a playoff run. So he could be a part of that new regime.
And moving on, we're going to go with Zadarius Smith. He's a guy, he's still productive. He's a little older, but I think the Cleveland Browns are in a sell mode at this point.
Exactly.
First team, this is going to be an in-division one. We got him going to the Ravens and teaming up with Kyle Van Noy. I think that could be a fun little tandem right there.
This is one of those moments to me, Tony. I just look at this like he has nothing to lose, so it's like he's got to get to wherever he thinks he can win a championship. And hopefully, like you're saying, that defense is scary right now.
I think this is Lamar's year too.
Exactly, yeah. It's just one of those things where I look at this as like they go all in and they say we got to get Zadarius Smith on this team.
Another one, I'm going to go with the Commanders. I think Dan Quinn is the guy that he wants to load up on the defense, and right now they look good and they're in a playoff position.
I personally did not think that we would be here with the Commanders. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, Mike, where do you think that the Commanders are going to be? I would be sitting there like, oh, they're going to be in the bottom of the barrel.
4-13.
Yeah, and now I'm looking at like, oh my God, they are buyers. Like, this is weird. I did not see this coming. I thought with the acquisition of the team and everything that was going on outside the line, I was like, oh, okay, like this is going to be a rebuild for not only like Jaden Daniels and the whole rest of the squad, but like this is going to be a whole rebuild for the whole entire like city, really. And now here we are. They're looking great. Jaden's got a little rib injury, but that won't stop them from making moves. I think they
still won, 47-0 against the Panthers?
Exactly.
I mean, it's the Panthers, but let us know down below who you guys think is going to be traded at this point in the trade deadline. There's a lot of guys still out there, and it seems like teams are ready to, call the lines and make some trades.
And let us know who you want your team to pick up.
Heading on to our next one, we're going to go with the wide receiver position. It's going to be Cooper Kupp. There's a few teams for this guy.
Yeah, exactly. After, the game between the Bucs and the Ravens, we obviously saw 2 Bucs wide receiver greats go down, and it doesn't look so good for Chris Godwin. So we're going to have to say that, I think this is probably the best option, in my opinion, for Cooper Kupp and the Bucs. They're going to need him. He's coming off of an injury himself, but it looks like he's ready to go for them if needed.
I got one. It's an in-division trade. It's going to be to the 49ers. They just lost Brandon Ayuk, so that's a big target share. And I don't know if Debo's coming back this week or if he's going to be out for a little longer.
Yeah, I know he had a little bit of a pneumonia issue, but I think he should be good.
It seems like their guys are just dropping like flies, so might as well load back up again and make probably that last 1 or 2 year stretch of what I would call their Super Bowl run.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last team that we were looking at was the Steelers. I mean, Steelers are another team. You know, their defense is kind of carrying them, but their offense is a little surprising.
I think their line really stepped up this year.
I didn't think that the two quarterbacks would be a good move, and here we are. Like, I would want either on my team, and they have like the option to pick either one. This is awesome. So I think Cooper Kupp could look good in some black and yellow.
And then our last one, we're going to be heading over to Bryce Young down in North Carolina. I think he just needs to hit the total reset button and get traded.
Yeah.
It's been unfortunate what they've done with him and his development. It's Mac Jones-esque. So.
He didn't deserve to have to go there. He was forced to go there in terms like his coach really didn't want him. It's just one of those things where I think that this was kind of a ridiculous overall move and should have never happened, Tony. And I mean, realistically, like the Seahawks got to pick him up. Geno Smith, I don't know how much longer he's going to last, but get him to Seattle.
Then you have playmakers around him already.
Exactly.
Lockett, DK Metcalf, Njigba. Like, that would be a nice little trio over Deontay, Adam Thielen, and Mingo, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
And I think all three of those guys could be gone pretty soon here, too. So.
Yeah, no.
And then the last team, I think he could probably do well under Sean McVay's reign and learn a little bit from Matt Stafford. So
yeah, an offensive group. Yeah, to have the time to develop too. I didn't even think about that actually.
And I mean, Kyron Williams, and I mean, if Cooper Kupp gets traded, yeah, like he doesn't have the total weapons around him, but I think they can do it with like a lot less. So
exactly.
It's one of those things. Bryce Young just needs to
get out of town.
Scram. Yeah, he just needs to like totally switch it up. He needs a new what is it called when you change of scenery? Yeah, sorry, I can't think about that. Yeah, he just needs a change of scenery. So those are our four. I think it's going to be a wild trade deadline, so that's exciting because last year's was a little meh.
Yeah, exactly. This one will be a lot better this year.
I think there's some teams that clearly know they're top dogs, so they're going to be willing to trade, and they want to get over that hump, and they want to get past the Chiefs. So I think that's what will escalate a lot of trades this year.
Other than that, just make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment anything you want us to know, or on top of that, again, who you think is going to get traded.
Peace.